Happy day and welcome everyone. What we are talking about today is introducing electrochemistry here. What is electrochemistry? Well, it's so cool. You can actually just split apart the words. We know that electro has to do with that one subatomic particle. What is it? The electron. And then chemistry, we know, is the study of matter. So how do electrons work when we're talking about getting this electricity, for example? It's the whole idea of like, how do batteries work? How do we get our cars to run with the electricity? And so what's going on with this wiring and this hookup with these batteries, okay? And so there are different types of cells. So they call them batteries or they call them cells. Before we actually get into those cells, we first need to talk about oxidation and reduction, okay? Because this is the general idea, all of the underlying, the groundwork basically for batteries, for understanding how a battery works, is going to come from the understanding of oxidation and reduction, okay? And just at the very, very minimum of understanding it, it's simply the movement of electrons, okay? That's all it is. So if you can get electrons to be gained and electrons to be lost, well, lost and gained, then what happens is you can get energy from that. And if you can harness that energy, then it can be used as electrical energy, okay? And so that's the whole idea of understanding redox, and then therefore our big idea of understanding how a battery can work and how we can generate electricity, okay? So it says the topics covered in the units, we've got oxidation reduction, operation of batteries, spontaneity or thermodynamically favored, and then also just talking about the corrosion of metals. Okay, so the first part of this, which is beautiful, is that we've already done redox. We did it earlier in the year, so this is take 2. Hopefully after doing it this time, you can ask the questions that you need and be sure that you really have a solid understanding. Okay. First step in a redox problem is always going to be to assign your oxidation numbers, okay? So what does that mean? Well, typically what you can do is you can look at the periodic table and you can check to see what the oxidation number is. And so, for example, I know that the alkaline metals and hydrogen are a +1, and we've got our alkaline earth metals are a +2, and then +3 and +4, but then things get different when we get into here in the transition metals, where we might have to use the non-metal to be able to figure it out, okay? We know our noble gases don't like to bond, so those are zeros, but our halogens are typically going to be -1. But remember that there are oxidation numbers in here that we didn't use before. And so the negative number is a fixed number, but there also are positive numbers that are in the mix. And so how do we figure those out? Well, if it's to the right, the element is written to the right, then that should be negative. And the element written to the left should be positive. So if it's to the right, then you know it's going to be the negative number. That should be the fixed number. What do I mean? Halogens are a -1, under oxygen are a -2, under nitrogen are a -3, and then carbon would be a -4, okay? And then again, whatever it's bonded with, because it can be bonded with another nonmetal, you'll have to figure out what that positive number is, okay? So that's rule number 1. Hydrogen can be a +1 or a -1. Something to remember, if it's in hydrides, it'll be a -1. So it'll be written to the right, except when hydrogen is with nitrogen. Nitrogen is the more electronegative element. So your nitrogen is going to be negative. For example, NH3 or NH4 plus or NH2. Those are written that way because otherwise it will look like an acid, and it's not, okay? And so the nitrogen is negative in that case, but it's written on the left side, and the hydrogen is a +1 charge, but it's written to the right. I think that's probably the one exception when it comes to that. The other thing to keep in mind is oxygen can be, we always have taken oxygen to be -2. If it's in a peroxide, like H2O2, for example, then it does take on a -1 charge, okay? Otherwise, all of the elements in their natural state are 0. So you get a diatomic, F2 gas, Cl2 gas, Br2 liquid, I2 solid, H2 gas, zeros. Sodium in the solid state, remember the color tells black means it's a solid, iron in its solid state, any of those are going to be 0 for their oxidation state in their natural state. Okay, so that's step 1. Step 2 is you write your half reactions. And you always want to make sure that you balance your atoms when you write your half reactions. Once those are written, you balance your electrons. Why? Well, just like I said right at the beginning here, this is about the movement of the electrons. So you're not going to lose 2 electrons and then gain them somewhere else. They have to be gained somewhere else, okay? So we want to make sure that we use what I call the LCM, or the least common multiple. So if you have two, it looks like your half reaction has 2 electrons that are being lost and then 3 electrons that are being gained. Well, you need the least common multiple between 2 and 3, which would be a 6. If one is a 5 and the other one's a 2, your LCM would be 10, for example, okay? So you're going to balance your electrons, and then once you have that set, you're going to fill all of your coefficients right into your reaction and balance anything else. Usually if it's an acidic solution, you're going to have a hydrogen ion and water. If it's in a basic solution, it's going to be hydroxide and water. Okay, so let's get started. Let's take a look here and let's figure this out. So what I first want you to do is try this out. Go ahead and write your oxidation numbers for all of these, and I'm going to go ahead and fill mine in. Okay, did you get your oxidation numbers right? Check it out. So the hardest one, I'm going to erase this in just a second, is going to be this SO4, figuring out the S. So we know that oxygen's a -2. All of these are pretty easy, even including water. Hydrogen's a +1 and oxygen's a -2. But here, so what I did is, you can either call this X or you can call it S. So if I call it X, that's what I'm looking for, plus oxygen is a -2 charge, but there are 4 of them, so that's a -8. And if it's an ion, you're going to set it equal to the charge of the ion. If it's a compound, it should have 0 charge. But in this case, it's an ion, so it's a -2. So in this case, X, if I add the -8 to the other side, algebraically, I solve for X, and I get X is equal to a +6. Okay, so that's basically how that's going to end up working out for us. Just erase that, just so that we have some room here. Okay. So now we've got our oxidation numbers written. The next thing we need to do is we need to write our half reactions, okay? So we're going to write our half reactions. That means we need to figure out what is changing. There should be 2 things changing, or it could be something like hydrogen peroxide is kind of an exception. It can actually be oxidized and reduced at the same time. So let's see if we can figure out which ones. I'm seeing that the sulfur is changing from a 6 to a 0. And did you also say that the bromine is changing from a -1 to a Br2 0. Okay, so we haven't finished our half reactions yet. We need to balance the atoms. Well, the S's are a coefficient of 1 and 1. Those are fine. But the Brs, I can see here that I have 2 of these, which means I need to put a 2 in front of there. Okay, so now I need to figure out my electrons. Okay, and so that sulfur is a 6 to a 0, which means it's exchanging 6 electrons. But the question is it losing them or is it gaining them? Okay, pretty easy. All you need to do as far as figuring out what side the electrons go on is, I always say it always goes on the higher charge. So if it's 6 electrons, then it's going to go on the higher side, which 6 is higher than 0. Well, that means that in the bottom one, it should be on the right side. And so I'm going to multiply 2 times -1 and 0 times 2. And when I do that, I get a -2 and a 0, and the difference between that is 2 electrons. Now, you always want to check to make sure you did this correctly. And the way to do that is, this is equal to -2, and this is equal to 0 plus a -2, which means I have -2 on both sides. On the top one, I have a -6 and a +6, which equals 0, and then I have a 0 on this side as well. And so those all work out where they are balanced, electrically balanced, okay? All right, so now that I'm done with that, I need to make sure my electrons are balanced. In other words, the electrons that are gained have to equal the electrons that are lost, and right now they're not. I'm gaining 6, and I'm losing 2, okay? So what do I need? I need an LCM. Between a 6 and a 2, the lowest, least common multiple would be 6. That means that I need to multiply this bottom one by 3. Okay, so let's multiply this by 3. And I always like to write it a little bit higher, so I'm going to get a 6 on this one. I'm going to get a 3 on this one, and I'm going to get a 6 on that one. Okay, so now that I'm all set with that, I can plug everything right up into my equation. So in front of the sulfur here, I have a 1. You don't have to write that down. In front of the Br, I have a 6. In front of the S on the right, I have a 1. And in front of the Br2, I have a 3. Okay. Now I need to balance my hydrogen and my waters based on what I've done. And it's always easier to do the oxygen there. So I have 4 oxygens on the left and only 1 on the right. So I'm going to put a 4 in there. And now that makes it 8 hydrogens. The only hydrogen I can see is that one right there. So I'm going to throw that right into there. Okay. And that is a balanced reaction. It's going to ask some questions, but usually what is being asked of you is which one is oxidized, which one is reduced, and how many electrons are transferred, okay? So I always like to say, Leo says grr, and Dr. Yuo. So let's fill these in here. Okay, so I have Leo says grr means if you lose electrons, that means that it is oxidized. And grr is if you gain electrons, that means it is reduced. So G-E-R and L-E-O. So repeat it. Leo says grr. Okay. The other one I like to use is Dr. Yuo. And so, or Yuo doctor, but Dr. Yuo. So this is if the charge goes up, that means it's oxidized. If the charge goes down, that means it is reduced. So that's your doctor, and Yuo, go ahead and say it. Dr. Yuo, Dr. Yuo. Okay, that's going to be the other one that you're going to want to make sure that you remember. Okay, so now just so you know, they've gotten rid of oxidizing agent. The agent is the one that helps the other one to be oxidized, so it's actually reduced, and the reducing agent is the one that's oxidized because it's helping the other element get reduced. So it's the opposite, but again, they've removed this from the AP. Okay, so let's come back up here. What happened? Well, this one went from a 6 to a 0, which means the charge went down. That must be my doctor. And this one went from a -1 to a 0, and so this one went up, which means it's my UO. So which one's oxidized? Well, that's this one here, and it must be the reactant, the full reactant. So you have to go back to the equation and see what your reactant was. That would be my bromine. Which one is reduced? Well, it's my S6 plus, but that came from the sulfate. So it's my SO4 2 minus. And how many electrons were transferred? Well, that's my LCM. My LCM is 6 electrons. All right, so if we fill in the blanks down here, we've got an equation balanced above. Which one was reduced? Well, we said that the one that was reduced was the one that was the sulfur, was the SO4 2 minus, was the one that was reduced. So let's get our SO4 2 minus sulfate ion. Well, if it was reduced, that means it was actually the oxidizing agent. Okay, and then the one that was oxidized was my, let's come back up here just to make sure that we have this right. So the one that was oxidized was my Br minus, was the one that was oxidized. And so that one would be called your reducing agent. So the one that's oxidized is the reducing agent, and the one that's reducing agent is the one that's oxidized. Okay, other way, whichever way. Okay, so I want you to go ahead and try this one out. Yes, it's in basic solution, and all that means is the one above was in acidic solution, okay? So acidic means that you're going to do, so if it's acidic, you're going to put H plus and H2O on either side. And you kind of test it out and see. If it's a basic solution, instead of H plus, what do you think? Would you say hydroxide, OH minus, and then H2O? Okay, so if it's acidic, it's H plus with water. If it's basic, it's OH minus. They used to, I haven't seen problems like this anymore on the AP where they ask you to do, to add that in. Usually they haven't added in, but just in case, okay? Because it is taught in the text. First thing I want you to do is go ahead and write your oxidation numbers. It's harder than you think, okay? Especially the CNO one. What I'm going to tell you is the element to the left, usually there's only one positive, okay? And that one positive one is usually written to the left, almost always, in every situation except for that NH3, NH2, NH4 situation. The one that's far left is going to be your positive, okay? The other one should be your fixed charge negatives, all right? Go ahead and write your oxidation numbers, and let's see how we did. Okay, let's go ahead and check these out. How did you do? Okay, so the hardest one I think is the CNO minus, okay? So again, the way that I worked this out is I said carbon plus the nitrogen is going to be fixed because the carbon's the one that's going to be positive. So if I look on the periodic table, nitrogen's a -3. Oxygen I know is a -2, and I know it has a charge. It tells me it has a charge of a -1. So if I add the 2 and add the 3 over to the other side, or add the 5 over to the other side, I get that carbon is equal to a +4. And so that's where I got that +4 from. I feel like the rest of them are pretty easy to figure out. So just let me know if you end up having any questions on that. Okay, so now what I want you to do is I want you to write your half reactions, and I want you to balance them out, and let's see how you end up doing on this. Okay, so I have not done the LCM part yet, but I just want to make sure that we're on the same page here. So I knew that my carbon was changing. I figured out 2 electrons goes on the higher side. Mn's going from a 7 to a 4. The 3 electrons goes on the left side. Again, it's the higher charge side. Okay, so what's my LCM? Did you say 6? 2 and a 3 would make it a 6. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply this one by 3, and I'm going to multiply this one by 2. Again, I like to write it above, so I'm going to put a 3, and change that one to a 6. And then this one is going to be a 6, a 2, and a 2. And so once I have this, I can go right ahead and throw these numbers right in. So I've got 3 in front of the carbon. In front of the Mn, I have a 2. On the right side of my arrow, I have a 3 in front of the carbon there and a 2 in front of there. Okay, so before we do the hydrogen or the hydroxide and the water, because it's in basic solution. So let's figure out our oxidized, reduced, and electrons transferred. Okay, so if we come back to what we were talking about before, Dr. Yuo, so we've got 2 to 4, which means this is charges going up. Then that means that this one must be going down. Okay, so our oxidized must be the carbon, but it's not the carbon. You have to look back at the reactant. It must be a reactant. So it's actually the cyanide, the Cn minus. And the reduced is going to be from the Mn, which is the permanganate. So it's MnO4 minus. And then the electrons transferred is your LCM. So it's going to be 6 electrons as our LCM. All right. And now as far as the the hydroxide and the water are concerned. Okay, so they do give tips that if you actually figure out with hydrogen and water, it's actually easier than doing it with hydroxide and water. But this one doesn't seem too bad, but it is kind of trial and error because it can go on either side. Again, they took this out, so I'm just going to show you how this would work. So let's say that I put the water in on this side and I put the hydroxide in on this side. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to try to figure out if I can balance this. Let me switch back to my blue color here. So I can see that on the left, it's usually easier to do the oxygens. I've got 8, 9 on the left, oxygens. And on the right, I have 3 and 4, which is 7. I have 8. Okay, so let's see what happens if instead I can add and make this a 2, just to make that work. And let's see, because I can't change anything except for those. So let's see if that works. So now my hydrogens, I've got 2 hydrogens, and I do have 2 hydrogens on the right, so that's great. And then let's count the oxygens. Again, we said the oxygens were 8 plus 1 is 9. And now I have 3 plus 4 is 7 plus 2 is 9. We're balanced. It's all set. All right, and that is it for our intro to electrochemistry, starting off with oxidation and reduction. Happy day, everyone.